We found a record low 32% of Americans expressing approval for Israel's military actions in Gaza, while roughly twice as many, 60%, say they disapprove. And that marks quite a decisive shift from just 2 years ago. So there's been an almost 20-point decline in national approval in these 2 years. And that's really been driven a lot by partisanship. It's really those Democrats and independents who've driven the national average down to its record low. And when it comes to Democrats, there's certainly not much room left for their approval ratings to fall. They're already in the single digits. Typically, most countries don't see massive partisan gaps in favorability by political party and persuasion in America. But Israel is one very clear exception to that. Looking away from partisanship, age is really where there's some interesting trends here. There's a 40-point gap in approval of Israel's actions in Gaza between your oldest and your youngest American adult. We find that 49% of adults aged 55 and above say that they approve of Israel's actions in Gaza. So roughly half of our oldest section of adults in America approve of the actions in Gaza. That drops to just 9% amongst our youngest adults, those aged 18 to 34. Because Democrats' approval is so low anyway, we typically don't see very large differences between Democrats, whether they're young or old. Whereas amongst Republicans, we find actually that younger Republicans typically look a bit more like young Americans in general than Republicans in general. We see significantly larger gaps in approval towards Israel's actions in Gaza among Republicans, whether they're over 55 or under 34. So that's another interesting level of texture to add. It's not just a question of party, it's not just a question of age, but these two things also intersect in important ways.